The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Now radio program. Today you will learn how to combine healing and the law of attraction to better your own life in mere weeks. Join us on our journey, which starts right now. Here's your host, Dr. MaryOz.
So, welcome to Radical Change Now, and I'm super excited to have my friend and accountability partner, Christian Weiss, join us today. The title of our show is Change Your Stars with SEO. And I want to tell you a little funny story on how Christian and I met. We met back in about 2011, and we both had said yes to attend a seminar on sales systems, and it was in San Diego. So Christian is from Germany, and I'm from Long Island, New York. And we met on an event, and we just kind of became friendly and similar personalities, and we just made a nice connection, supported each other through the weekend. And I'm just really happy to have Christian on the show today. So welcome, Christian.
Thank you, Mary.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes, you remember that. I don't remember the name of the sales seminar, but other than it had the word immersion in it.
Yeah, something like that. And I didn't even remember that it is already 7 years ago.
Yes,
since we met.
I know. Time goes by fast. So
yeah.
It was the end of that seminar. And I remember Jonathan Budd was the person we went to the seminar with. And yes. He asked us to go ahead and look around the room and find an accountability partner, someone that you would connect with for the next 90 days that would hold you accountable in your business goals. So you and I had made that nice connection, and we decided to be each other's accountability partners. But I don't think anybody really thought it would last something like 7 or 8 years, because it was supposed to last just 90 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So here we are on Mondays. We still meet on Mondays, our original day that we chose.
Yes, we do. Every Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That's our date.
That's right. That's right. And I remember, I don't know if I go all the way back to 2011 and 12. Back then, I had written a book, An Invitation to Your Financial Freedom and Success. And I thought I was going to run with this theme of like financial freedom and success. And I remember when we were sitting at a table together, you on the computer, dotting all the I's and crossing the T's for your blogging program. And then when we were each other's accountability partner, we would use these nicknames like, we're almost there. And then you got there before me. And it's a really cool feeling to know that we're both there and our businesses have had amazing success. And we're able to bring that success to our listeners today.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
So you are definitely my SEO expert. And I was wondering if you could share with us what drew you to SEO, search engine optimization.
Well, Mary, that's actually a long story, but I'll try to tell the short version of it.
Okay.
So I always had a high affinity for computers and technology. And at the age of 12, I've got my first PC, personal computer. But instead of playing computer games like most of my friends did at that time, I was rather interested in how these machines work. So I started to write small applications, and I also took the computers apart and rebuilt them again. I think it's safe to say that I was a bit of a nerd back then, and maybe I'm still a nerd today.
I think parents always worry when they see their kids taking apart remotes and computers. They think they're not using it right, but very often you have an advanced mind and you're thinking ahead of,
That's true, and I must admit it helped a lot taking these things apart and rebuilding them again.
Mm-hmm.
But however, after getting my degree in business administration, I started my corporate career at a large chain of grocery stores. So completely different world, had nothing to do with computers at all. And after successfully completing an initial trainee program, I became a sales manager and was responsible for 7 outlets. And over the next 7 years, I got promoted 2 times within that company and finally became director of sales in the Munich area, where I was responsible for about 50 outlets.
Wow.
And was a pretty demanding job and required me to work about 80 to 90 hours per week. So there was that day when I decided that I need to change something in my life because I didn't want to go on working that many hours each and every week. So I quit the job as director of sales at the grocery chain and became the general manager of a family-owned bakery chain. And at that time, I thought that I finally made it because I became the general manager of a company. However, shortly after starting at the bakery, things turned out a bit different than initially planned. So I quit at the bakery and started my own business as a consultant, working for retail companies that were running multiple outlets. And when I started that business in 2008, it was obvious to me that I would need a website to promote my consultancy, to get leads, to get clients, and to grow my business. But little did I know that at that time, a website was only one side of the medal, right? So I had this fancy website, but obviously nobody was calling me.
Which I think is definitely a problem, right? That a lot of our listeners can relate to. Like you work out, what am I going to put on the website? You get super excited and you get it out there, and then there's no traffic.
Exactly. You put a lot of thought and also money into getting that website up and running. And then once it's online, nothing happens. No calls, no leads, no revenue. So that was really a tough situation at that time. And this was the moment when I started researching how I could promote my business with online marketing. And first I started with blogging, which didn't change very much. And then all of a sudden I heard about SEO, which is the abbreviation for search engine optimization. And SEO pretty much describes the process of optimizing a website in a way so that it shows up among the first few spots on Google for specific search terms. And in this moment, when I learned about that concept for the first time, it immediately clicked for me. It was crystal clear to me that this is the best way to market my business, because I would be able to reach out to my ideal clients right in the moment when they were looking for the very services that I'm offering. And since I was a bit on a budget at that time, I had just quit my job to start my own business, and I couldn't afford to hire a professional SEO agency. The only opportunity that I had was to learn these skills by myself, and so I did. And then the little nerd inside of me woke up again.
Which I'm glad he did.
Yeah,
I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I'm glad as well. And I started to absorb everything that I could find and learn about SEO. I enrolled into different programs to learn from the best in the industry and was even able to get the first results fairly quickly back then. And next, something interesting happened. At that point, I was still trying to build my consulting business, right? But while my SEO skills got better and better, I soon took on the first SEO client. And that wasn't even my intention. Initially, I got into SEO because I wanted to learn how to promote my own website, generate leads, and new business for my business consultancy. But from this point on, my business completely changed from business consulting to running a digital marketing agency. And meanwhile, we are a team of 7 and are working for businesses from all around the world. And this is how I got into SEO.
Wow, so international, and I know it's an amazing feeling to know you have 7 people plus yourself on the team.
Yeah.
And what I also think is so interesting is I think that when people are trying to grow a business or start out or bring their business to the next level, sometimes it seems like we're in one place, but we're really supposed to be in another place. Like you and I used to talk a lot about you having a blogging agency, but you turned out being like this big SEO guy. When I met you, I was trying to create an internet marketing business, and now really Ho'oponopono and helping the world heal is like my biggest gift to the world that I'm offering people. So we start out in one place, but if we just keep going and we never quit, I really believe we end up where we're supposed to be.
Exactly. You never know how things turn out.
You never know. This is true. So I have this new nickname for you. And, I like to refer to you as King Midas Touch. Because in our years of being accountability partners together, and since your SEO company took off, I know when we come to our calls, you'll share with me, I got a new client and this is where we're at. And I love when your numbers just start to take off. And it's like, even before you and I reach out on Skype, I'm always like, I wonder what those numbers are going to be. So what do you love the most about SEO?
Well, to me, SEO is like a sport. It is an ongoing competition and only the best will win. On average, there are 10 organic listings on each results page on Google. But there's only one number one spot, and you need to outrank all your competitors to become number one. And it feels even better when we manage to claim several spots out of these 10 on the first page for our clients and help them to dominate Google in their market. I also just love the challenge to keeping up with the latest changes in the Google algorithm, which is changing almost every day, and tweaking the strategy and getting our clients awesome results.
Awesome. I love that. And, I love that analogy that SEO is like a sport, because I know for me, a lot of times I think of life is like a game, and you have to know the objectives, and you have to know the rules, and you have to have a strategy to win, and you have to have a blueprint. So whether it's life is like a game or my business is like a game that I want to win at, it's like SEO is a sport. So love that analogy. Really cool.
Yeah, it fits very well.
Yeah. So tell us about the results that you get for your clients.
Well, as I already said, we always aim to rank our clients on the first spot on Google for the keywords that they want to target, and we usually always hit that goal. And of course, we have generated a lot of number one rankings for our clients in the past, which drove a ton of traffic to their websites and grew their business a lot. One result that I'm very proud of is a super competitive keyword in the electronic cigarettes niche. First off, it is important to know that you can't promote a website in this niche with Google AdWords. These are the paid ads on Google that you have probably already seen. Google just doesn't allow ads in that product category. And that means that the only way for companies in that industry to drive traffic from Google and to significantly grow their business is to rank on Google organically. And of course, this is the reason why the competition in this very niche is pretty fierce. And one of the keywords we have ranked this client for has a volume of more than 90,000 searches per month. And this company is holding the number one spot for this keyword for over 2 years now. And obviously, this client is very happy and raving about what we do.
Wow, I love that. So 90,000 searches per month, and that's only one keyword. And often
that's only one keyword, exactly.
Right. So when you work with a client, you're often working with more than one keyword.
Yeah.
And I know you're a numbers person. I'm a numbers person. So the first thing I think of is, wow, 90,000 searches per month. That equals big revenue.
That's incredible. I mean, when you hold the number one spot for a keyword like that, you're certainly driving a whole lot of traffic to your website each and every day.
And then to be able to maintain that for 2 years, that's life-changing. That's life-changing income.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. So love those results. And I do just want to ask you a question. I think if you've heard our show at all, you know that for the last 12 weeks or so, we've been talking about Ho'oponopono, law of attraction, and getting results for life and business. Mm-hmm. Did you ever find yourself leaning on Ho'oponopono or law of attraction to help you get your results?
Yes, I do. When it comes to success and running a business, that path is never a straight line. And I'm sure that all the businesses and business owner out there can relate to this, right? And thankfully, you have introduced me to the concepts of law of attraction as well as Ho'oponopono. And you have also taught me how to implement them in my daily life. So they really help me to get clarity and stay focused in times where things are not going as smooth as I want.
Yeah, I always teach my clients, and you and I have talked about that. They're just two amazing tools to have in a toolbox, like when life or the business gets challenging, and the tools really help us push through.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've got one more question for you before we go to a quick break.
Okay.
Can you talk to us about the struggle? Because I know, everyone in business, myself including, I have some really powerful mentors. And we all have vulnerable moments. We all have moments when there's been a struggle. So can you tell us a little bit about your struggle?
Of course. Now, even when my business is thriving today and we do have a lot of happy clients, it is no secret at all that it hasn't always been that way. Actually, I have been struggling for quite some time and was tempted to throw in the towel many times. When I quit at the bakery in 2008 and decided to start my own business, it was my wife who had a job and paid for our living. And even when it was a joint decision of my wife and me that I would get started with my own business and at least give it a try, it put some serious pressure on me, being financially dependent on my wife. I mean, I'm not saying this to brag, but before I quit at the bakery, I was pretty successful in the corporate world. I had a very good income. I drove a beautiful company car that was worth $100,000. I was easily able to provide a nice living standard for my wife and me. We just had bought a new home and we enjoyed a lot of nice things. But suddenly, things were completely different and it felt as if I would have hit rock bottom. Considering the financial situation at that time, every little setback that happened while I built my business made it even worse for me. And I had a lot of self-doubt and also started to notice limiting beliefs coming up, like I'm not able to do this, I thought this is not going to work out, I need to get a job again, and things like that. But fortunately, you and I had our weekly accountability calls going on, and you had introduced me to the law of attraction and Ho'oponopono, which has really helped me tremendously to stay focused and gain clarity again. And as soon as you have introduced me to those concepts, taught me how to apply them, and also helped me to get rid of my limiting beliefs, things changed dramatically and my business started to thrive.
Well, I'm glad I could help you, because anytime we can help, at least anytime I help my clients break through their success blockers and remove them, it's always a wonderful journey to watch people expand and grow. So it really was my honor to help you that way. But I want to mention to our audience before we take a quick commercial break that Christian's on the show today. He's about to go into what we call a teaching moment. He's going to teach us his secrets to his success with SEO. So make sure you come back with some pen and paper. But he's also going to be giving us a free gift today. So if you have a moment, you can go to his link at Christian Weiss, ChristianWeiss.net/SEO. Put in a little dash and then spell out CHECK. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back, and make sure you come back and join Christian Weiss and myself.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Coaching Program will help you set a healing foundation in your life and teach you how to manifest more of what you want. Are you ready to get the results and radical change you have been longing for too long? Very often our clients tell us that this is the most powerful coaching they have ever received. Come join us and start living life with more results, more love, more wealth, health, and peace, as well as inspiration. For more information, call Coach Sam at 1-833-447-CHANGE. Need help deciding if our Radical Change coaching program is right for you? Apply for a free strategy session with one of our coaches. Be prepared to dive deep and identify the areas in life in which you need healing and transformation. Together, we will clarify how to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be and discover what's possible now. How would it feel to get big changes in less than 30 days for you, your loved ones, and your business? Apply now by calling Coach Sam at 1-833-447-CHANGE or visit us at radicalchangenow.com.
We hear just be you a lot these days. But who are you? What is an authentic life? The answer to these questions and more will be answered on the Authentic Living Show, hosted by Andrea Matthews. Andrea will interview some of today's spiritual, psychological experts and will provide her own wisdom to help you raise your consciousness to the level of your I Am. Listen for Authentic Living with Andrea Matthews. Heard live every Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Follow us on Twitter for more great ideas at Voice America Empowerment.
You are listening to Radical Change Now with Dr. MaryOz. If you'd like to participate in our discussion today, the phone lines are open. Reach us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Let's get back to Radical Change Now. Here again is Dr. MaryOz.
So we're back here at Radical Change Now with Christian Weiss from Germany. And the title of today's show is Change Your Stars with SEO. And I've asked Christian to join us and share some of his secrets and have a teaching moment with us. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm grabbing some pen and paper, which I don't usually do, but I'm going to grab some pen and paper and take down lots of notes because he gave me a little insight into what he's sharing today. And if you're able to follow along, it's going to really make a difference in your business. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor, Christian. And what could our listeners implement today if they wanted to rank better on Google and get more exposure for their website?
Well, Mary, there are actually a few things that can be implemented today to increase rankings on Google. And if you are interested in how to improve rankings and the visibility of your website on Google, I would recommend grabbing a pen and a piece of paper real quick to take some notes, as I will be sharing some very powerful stuff with you today. And don't worry, you neither have to be a SEO expert, nor do you need to know anything about websites. Once we're done, you can hand these notes over to your webmaster and ask him to apply these changes to your site. So what I want to talk about today is on-page optimization. And to stress the importance of on-page optimization, let me first explain real quick how SEO usually works. Now, in my experience, every successful SEO campaign can be segmented in 3 essential steps. Step number 1 is keyword research. And this is where the foundation for a successful SEO campaign is being laid out. It is utterly important for any SEO campaign to pick the right keywords that you want to be found for on Google. You also need to make sure that the keywords you are targeting meet the following criteria. They have to be relevant to your product or service, and at the same time, they must have a decent monthly search volume, because you won't be able to grow your business from Google if your website only ranks for phrases that nobody is searching for. And once you know what keywords you want to target, it's time to move on to step number 2, which is on-page optimization. And in this step, we take care of the relevancy of your website for the selected search terms, as well as the technical optimization of your site. And after the on-page optimization has been completed, we can move on to step number 3, which is called off-page optimization. As the name of this phase already suggests, in this step, we will be focusing on optimizing your website from the outside by building the right links at the right time, using the right anchor text to increase its authority and relevancy. Talking about off-page optimization, I need to make one thing very clear. There are a lot of people out there who say that content is king. I'm sure you have already heard about that. And that you would only need to publish high quality content on your website on an ongoing basis to increase your rankings. Please don't believe that. It is just not true. In all the years that I'm doing SEO now, I have never seen a website move to the top of Google by only publishing great content. That is just not enough. You can't rank without getting the right backlinks, period. And of course, content is important, but that is the second step. If people would come to your website because of great rankings, but the content is bad, they would immediately leave and you wouldn't be able to convert them into buyers. And that's obviously the whole purpose of having a website, attracting the right audience and converting them into buyers, into customers or clients. Also, if you would receive a lot of visitors from Google organic search, and these visitors would click on the back button in their browser right after they just came to your website, Google would see that and push your site down in the rankings because of a high bounce rate. But to make it to the top of Google in the first place, you need backlinks. And this is why off-page optimization is a vital step in every successful SEO campaign. Now, since Google's goal is always to show its users the most unique, most relevant, and most authoritative result for a specific search term, you need to give Google what it is looking for in order to rank at the top. And talking about unique content, here's the first thing that you could fix on your website right away. And this problem mostly occurs with websites that are not based on a content management system. So just open your browser, make sure to clear cookies, the browser cache, the whole history, and type in the URL of your website into the address bar without www. For example, you would be typing in http://domain.com and hit enter. Now take a look at the URL. Did it change to maybe http://www.domain.com? Or did it not change? Now, next we need to take another check. Clear your cookies again, the browser cache, and the whole history in your browser, and type into the address bar the URL of your website with www. in front of it. So for example, you would be typing in http://www.domain.com. What does the URL look like now in the address bar? Did it change to the non-www version? In this case, you will be fine. But if the URL stays as you have typed it in, and it still shows as http://www.domain.com, this means that there are actually two versions of your website available. Version number one would be http://domain.com, and version number two would be http://www.domain.com. And this is not good, because in Google's eyes, these are two websites with the same duplicate content. And to fix this, you need to 301 redirect, I repeat that, 301 redirect one version of your website to the other version of your website on the domain level. Let me repeat that real quick, because that is very important. In order to fix this duplicate content issue, you need to 301 redirect one version of your website to the other one on the domain level. And to convince Google that your website is also highly relevant for a certain phrase or topic, the first thing you need to do is to make sure to include the keywords in the meta tags of your website. Meta tags help Google to better understand what your website is all about. The ones that we are focusing on are the page title and the description of your page. Please don't use the keyword tag anymore, because it doesn't work no longer, and people usually tend to stuff keywords in that tag, which Google rather considers as a bad behavior. And in the worst case scenario, you would get penalized by Google, and you don't want to have that happen. Now, next to the meta tags, you also want to use schema markup on your website to provide even more helpful information about your site to Google. As schema markup would be a topic of its own that we could talk about for hours, I only want to let you know that you need to tell your webmaster to implement it on your website. Schema markup pretty much is also a kind of meta information that doesn't show up to the user who is visiting your website, but it gives Google more information about your website, where your business is located, what's your phone number, what's your email address, and things like that. What are your opening hours? What is your website all about? Things like that. And it helps Google to better understand what your website is all about. Also, you want to make sure that you have enough written content on your website. And the more content you have, the better it is. Don't be surprised if you don't show up on Google if you only have an image on your website and a few lines of text. The content on your site must be unique. It must have correct grammar and spelling, and it must include the keyword you want to rank for and synonyms of it. Of course, you also need to be careful not to over-optimize your website. So don't just repeat that keyword over and over again in the content of your website. Just sprinkle it in when it is a good fit and don't overdo it. To take your on-page optimization one step further, I would also recommend using H1 headlines in your content that contain your keyword and variations of it. You can use those H1 headlines to break down your content on your page. It also helps to have the keyword formatted in bold letters on the page one time, and to embed a relevant YouTube video that has the keyword in the video title as well. Also, don't forget to optimize your images. You can include the keyword in the file name and add it to the alt tag. And in case you are running a local business, it can also help to geo-tag your images. You can use geoimgr.com for that. I can repeat that real quick. It's geoimgr.com. That is a pretty basic website that allows you to add geotags to your image's meta information. And by adding this information, Google will know where the image was taken. And if this matches the location you want to rank for, this will also help to improve your rankings. Another factor that relates to the user experience on your site, which Google takes into account when grading websites, is the load speed of your site. That means how long does it take for a user to load your website on his device. You want to make sure that your website loads as quick as possible to provide a great user experience. And to check the load time of your site, just drop the URL of it into GTmetrix, which you can find at gtmetrix.com, gtmetrix.com. This is another free tool, and it will perform an in-depth analysis of your site's load time, and it also shows you exactly what needs to be fixed to speed up your site. And of course, you can also tell your webmaster to run your site through gtmetrix.com and fix all the issues that might show up. One aspect that you might not be able to fix in one day is that you need to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. And to check whether your site meets these requirements, just go to Google and type in mobile friendly check. And there should be an input form showing up right on top of Google where you can drop in the URL of your website and start the test. If your site doesn't meet the mobile requirements of Google, I would recommend getting this fixed by your webmaster as soon as possible. Now, there are two simple reasons why you need to have a mobile-friendly website today. Since mobile internet usage has exceeded the desktop use for quite some time already, the majority of traffic today is mobile. And of course, you want to make sure that mobile visitors on your website also have a great user experience. Otherwise, you might be missing out on a lot of revenue. And another reason why you need to have a mobile-friendly website is because Google is operating a mobile index and a desktop index. And since April 2015, you can't make it to the top of Google's mobile index with a website that doesn't pass the Google mobile-friendly test. And finally, I want to talk about a very recent requirement, which is SSL. SSL stands for Secure Sockets Layer. Having a SSL certificate installed on your domain will allow you to encrypt all the data that is being transferred between your website and your web server and your visitors. And since Google is very serious about security, having an SSL certificate is no longer an option. If you're not sure if your website is already SSL secure, you can check that very easily yourself. When you navigate to your website in your browser, does it say HTTPS in front of your domain, or does it only say HTTP? Depending on the browser that you're using, you might also see a green padlock in front of the URL of your site in the address bar. If HTTPS or a green padlock shows up, you are already set and your site is encrypted. If not, you need to ask your webmaster to install a SSL certificate on your site. And the reason why this is so important is because Google is putting more and more significance on secure websites. Google Chrome currently has a market share of more than 60% amongst web browsers. And in the upcoming update, Google will implement a feature in that browser that shows a warning to the user as soon as they are visiting a website that, for example, has a contact form somewhere on the site and is not SSL secure at the same time. And it is important to know that this is a site-wide warning which will be shown to the user on every page of your website, even if they are visiting a page on your site that doesn't have a contact form. Now, if you take care of all these steps that we just went over, I'm sure that you will be ahead of the curve of at least 95% of your competitors, and that you will be able to increase your rankings.
Well, Christian, tons of information. I appreciate that. I appreciate the way you deliver it. I mean, I can hear your passion for the SEO, and I know you're really sharing some of your biggest secrets that really help your clients so well. And I love that you're asking us to focus on step 1, the keyword research, step 2, the on-page optimization, step 3, the off-page optimization. I have to thank you because when SSL came out, you called me right away and said, Mary, take care of your stuff. So I appreciate that you have my back that way. And I also love in your sharing and in your teaching, you would often say, like, in other words, if you're following along, you do this. But if you don't have time or you're not the person to do this, all you got to do is exactly tell your web guy this, right? So I don't want our listeners to get overwhelmed. It's a ton of amazing information. And just so happy that you're willing to share all that with us. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Christian's going to continue to share some do's and don'ts with us about SEO. And make sure you check out his site at christianweiss.net/SEO-check. It's actually a free gift that's going to help you along as well. So we'll be back in just a couple of seconds.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Need help deciding if our Radical Change coaching program is right for you? Apply for a free strategy session with one of our coaches. Be prepared to dive deep and identify the areas in life in which you need healing and transformation. Together, we will clarify how to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be and discover what's possible now. How would it feel to get big changes in less than 30 days for you, your loved ones, and your business? Apply now by calling Coach Sam at 1-833-447-CHANGE or visit us at RadicalChangeNow.com. Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change coaching program will help you set a healing foundation in your life and teach you how to manifest more of what you want. Are you ready to get the results and radical change you have been longing for too long? Very often our clients tell us that this is the most powerful coaching they have ever received. Come join us and start living life with more results, more love, more wealth, health, and peace, as well as inspiration. For more information, call Coach Sam at 1-833-447-CHANGE. Are you ready to tackle the rules of business? You may think you're doing everything by the book, following your own best practice beliefs, bringing in endless consultants, only to find that your business is not moving forward. That's where you need to stop and figure out where things are going wrong. Enter Business Rules with host Peter Feinstein. Peter and his guests will break it all down for you to help you and your business succeed. Listen Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Voice America Empowerment.
Friend us on Facebook to keep up with what's empowering the world. Voice America Empowerment.
You are listening to Radical Change Now with Dr. Mary Oz. If you'd like to participate in our discussion today, the phone lines are open. Reach us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Let's get back to Radical Change Now. Here again is Dr. Mary Oz.
So we're here with Christian Weiss, and he's been sharing some amazing, powerful information on search engine optimization and how it can help your business sales soar. And I believe he's going to go along and share some more information with us about what mistakes to avoid, kind of what to know and what to do and what not to do. Is that right, Christian?
Yeah, that's true. Because actually there are indeed many mistakes that you can make when doing SEO. And one of them is to go after the heavy keywords right away. I mean, as I have already lined out earlier in the show, keyword research is the foundational part of any successful SEO campaign. However, it is not necessarily a good idea to go after the keywords with the highest search volume right away. Of course, I've told you that it is important to pick keywords for your campaign that are relevant and do have a nice monthly search volume. But the higher the search volume of a term, the more competitive it usually is to rank for that phrase. And the more competition there is for a keyword, the more time and resources are required to make it to the top for that term. And instead of targeting those heavy hitters right away, I like to take a different approach that leads to results much quicker. I'm talking about the low-hanging fruit keywords here. Now, these are the phrases that are relevant and that your site already ranks for on page 2 to 5 on Google. Usually, these terms don't have a tremendous search volume, but you can achieve easy wins when going after them. So if a site already ranks for a term on page 2 to 5 on Google, while no optimization has been going on so far, this is a very good sign that we can rank the site for these terms fairly quickly and drive some traffic. Also, while going after these keywords in the first place, we also increase the authority and the relevancy of the site for its topic, which makes it easier to rank for the heavy hitters in the long run. Now, identifying these low-hanging fruit keywords is actually pretty simple. You just need to connect your website with Google Search Console, and Google will show you a list of keywords on the dashboard that your site already ranks for. In addition to the keywords, it will also show you on what position your website ranks for these terms on Google. Now, you only need to pick those keywords that rank on page 2 to 5 and also have a fairly decent search volume. You can log into the Google Search Console with your Gmail credentials by visiting google.com/webmasters. google.com/webmasters. And another mistake when doing SEO is to fall for over-optimization and getting the site penalized. Now, we were talking a lot about on-page optimization earlier on, and that you need to make sure that you put your keywords in the right places on your website. However, this is a balancing act. If you overdo it, chances are that you get penalized by Google, which means that your site will remain on page 5 or so and never make it to the top of Google. But over-optimization can not only be achieved with on-page optimization, but also with link building. If you don't know what you're doing, I would recommend not to build any links at all pointing to your website. Because when it comes to building links, the link profile of your website plays a very important role. And among other things, the following needs to be considered when laying out a link building strategy. So you need to ask yourself, how many incoming links does your site already have? Would it look natural to Google if all of a sudden 50 new links would be built to your site every week? What kind of anchor text, that is the text of a link that you can see on a site? For example, if you find a hyperlink on a website that has this blue text and is underlined and it reads click here. In this case, click here is what we call the anchor text. And what kind of anchor text should be used when linking to your site? Do you have an exact match domain? An exact match domain is a domain that contains your main keyword, like austindentist.com, for example. If this is the case, you need to follow a different link building strategy than if your domain name would be something like drmiller.com. Another thing, does the ratio between exact match anchors and other anchors look natural to Google? Exact match anchors are links that only contain the exact keyword that you want to rank for in the link. Now, these are just a few things that need to be taken into account when developing a link building strategy that works and doesn't harm your website. So I highly recommend to hire an expert if you don't know what you're doing. And finally, another common mistake when doing SEO is to be impatient. It is the nature of SEO that you can't rank a website number one on Google overnight. Search engine optimization is a process which takes time, and it just works that way. So if, for example, you want to rank a new website that has 0 links pointing to it, you will first need to build a solid foundation before you can expect any results. Also, even if you would build a link today that has everything that's required to push your site up in the rankings, you won't be able to see results immediately. When you build this link today, it can take up to 2 weeks for the link to get indexed by Google. And once Google has found that link, it also doesn't give credit to its power right away. It can take another 3 to 6 weeks, in some cases even longer, for the power of the link to fully kick in and move the site up in the rankings. I know that many people want to see results immediately and don't understand why SEO takes so long. But that's just the nature of the process, and depending on where you're at right now with your site and how competitive the keywords are that you want to rank for, it can actually take 6 to 12 months or even longer to get to the top. But since it is a very positive side effect of every successful SEO campaign that your site will also start to rank for all different kinds of other related keywords that you didn't even actively optimize the site for, you are literally building an asset that will pay off many times in the long run.
And that's the beautiful part, and that's what you love about SEO the most. And I got to be honest with you, you know, when you started talking about the links, I started to get a little nervous, like I could get penalized, and if I don't understand the links well enough, I probably shouldn't do it. So I think at that point, that's when I say, okay, I think I'm going to hire an expert. And then when you get to the patience part where, you know, I just want my numbers to rise, and you're saying that really doesn't work, that's where I kind of fast dial Christian and say, okay, I've got an SEO project for you. So, I mean, you make it sound so easy because you know it so well and you do it and you see it all the time, but there really is a lot of moving parts to have the SEO work well and work as fast as possible. It is. Yeah. So that's it. I'm just going to hire you. That's where we're off. That's where we're at. So now what about, so I do think a lot of people listen to the show, and some people will run with the information, some people will run with all the tidbits. And then what if somebody wants to actually hire an SEO company? What should they look for? Because I often hear about people that hire SEO people, work as experts, companies, and they're usually disappointed. Yeah, unfortunately, that happens a lot. And the problem with SEO agencies is that there are many companies offering their services in this market that are not trustworthy. But just have to call it as it is. And it is hard for the layman to identify a good service provider. So if somebody would like to hire a SEO company, I would recommend asking for credentials. Ask them to show you proof that they can actually deliver on their promise.
What websites did they work on and what rankings did they achieve? But you also need to be a bit careful regarding these credentials because some agencies even cheat with their references. Now, let me explain that real quick. Since business owners usually don't know that there are more competitive keywords and less competitive keywords, some agencies just show a bunch of rankings for very easy keywords to impress their prospects. But when it comes to ranking for more competitive terms, these agencies might not be able to deliver. And a way around this would be to ask the agency to share some highly competitive keywords which they have managed to rank their clients for in the past.
Okay, awesome. Love that. So I know you have a free gift. We've got a few minutes left here. I believe you have a free gift for our listeners today at christianweiss.net/SEO- put a dash in check, CHECK. Can you tell us about the gift?
Yeah, everybody who wants to get an idea of how well his site is optimized for Google is welcome to visit christianweiss.net /SEO-CHECK and get a free website audit. Our tool will then scan your website and come up with a list of things that you can improve in order to increase your rankings. All you need to do is to go to christianweiss.net /SEO-check. Enter the URL of your website in the box and click the button. Our tool will then scan your website, and after about 30 seconds, you will receive a report that points out the weak spots of your site and also provides instructions on how to fix them. You can also then send this report over to your webmaster and ask him to fix the issues.
So everything they'll need is really at their fingertips, and they can either dive in themselves or they can hire their webmaster and fix what's not working well.
Exactly.
Yeah, awesome gift. We thank you for your generosity.
Oh, you're welcome.
So before we end today, do you have any final advice for our listeners today that you want to share with them?
Well, the only thing that I want to say is that SEO is by far the best way to grow your business online because it literally allows you to reach out to your target audience while these people are already actively searching for the very product or service that you are offering. So if you own a business of any kind, you need to make sure to get found on Google for the right search terms in order not to miss out on a significant piece of market share and not to leave a lot of money on the table. And I hope that the insights I shared with you today were helpful. I enjoyed being on the show a lot, and thank you very much for having me as a guest, Mary.
Well, it's been my pleasure, and I especially want to thank you because I hope you don't mind me sharing with the audience, but your wife is expecting a baby any hour, any moment, any day.
Yes.
So again, it just really speaks to your passion for SEO that you were able to come to the show and do the show today. And of course, we wish you and your wife the best of everything. And I can't wait to hear that the baby's here and all is well. But thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Thank you, Christian.
Yeah. Thank you. It was all my pleasure.
So that's it for today's show here on the Empowerment Channel at Voice America. Today is actually our 13th week at the Radical Change Now show with Dr. Mary Oz. And next week, November 29th, we're actually going to kick off a whole new 13-week segment. So in honor of our 4 most popular shows with our big guests, such as Dr. Joe Vitale, Christy Whitman, and Lisa Sasevich, we're going to do a 4-part special series. So next week when you join us, if you've missed our first show, our very first Radical Change Now show on the healing power of Ho'oponopono, come back, join us again, listen in, and Christian and I are wishing you an awesome week and happy Ho'oponoponoing.
Thank you for tuning in this week for Radical Change Now. Be sure to join Dr. Mary Oz again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Until then, have the best week of your life.